Yeah, but for your brain, right. And sometimes, even those old favorites can still surprise you.
Totally.
Which, speaking of, kind of looks like what we got going on with Black Ops 6. I see you've been checking it out.
Well, there's a reason Call of Duty keeps pulling us back in, right?
Right.
Black Ops especially has always had this certain hold on players.
Yeah, it's got that vibe.
Mhm.
And from what I'm seeing this time, they're really leaning into that whole shadowy world of covert ops. And not just like the action movie version,
Yeah.
but like the actual weight of those decisions you make.
Yeah, the gravity of it.
It sounds like some of these campaign missions, you're going to be faced with some seriously tough calls.
I'm really interested in that.
Yeah.
It speaks to this larger trend in gaming we've been seeing. More mature narratives.
For sure.
Players are looking for more than just escapism these days. They want stories that make them think a little bit more, grapple with some of the more complex themes.
And it seems like Black Ops 6 has taken that to heart, because I was reading about one mission
Yeah.
where you got to choose between extracting this high-value target
Oh, wow.
and potentially exposing your position
Okay.
to save a group of civilians.
Wow.
Talk about a moral dilemma, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It really raises questions about the cost of covert operations, the lines we draw, even in, the virtual world.
Okay, but can we talk about the customization in this game for a sec?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's next level.
I'm all about it.
The gunsmith system is basically a full-blown workshop now.
Oh, yeah.
We're not just talking attachments here. This is like fine-tuning everything.
That's incredible.
I even saw something about adjusting recoil patterns on individual weapons.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That level of customization, it really speaks to player agency. It's not this one-size-fits-all approach. You're crafting your experience, honing in on your playstyle, whether you prefer, stealth or going in guns blazing. The game kind of adapts to you.
Well, and that makes you wonder, with that much control over your loadout, does that add like a whole other layer of strategy to the campaign?
Yeah.
Do you think certain weapon builds lend themselves to different choices you might make in the mission?
Yeah, it's a great question. It speaks to this blurring of lines between genres.
Oh, for sure.
We see more like RPG elements getting woven into action games.
Right. And speaking of RPG elements, they are bringing skill trees into multiplayer this time around.
Exactly.
Like full-on skill trees.
Perfect example of those RPD mechanics bleeding into, the core gameplay loop, right? It's not just about reflexes anymore. It's about strategic character progression.
So you're not just mastering the weapons.
Yeah.
You're developing your soldiers' capabilities over time.
That's right.
Do you think that's more rewarding? Or maybe even more intimidating for players who are just used to that, like classic Black Ops formula?
It's a valid question. For some, it's going to feel like a natural evolution, For others, it might be a hurdle, They got to get over. So it'll be interesting to see how the community adapts.
It will be interesting to see. And speaking of the community, you got to give the people what they want. New maps, the return of some classic modes.
Of course.
And of course, zombies is back.
Got to have zombies.
Oh, with all these additions, all this depth.
It really makes you wonder.
It does.
Are we just looking at a Black Ops sequel that's simply iterating? Or are we witnessing an evolution of the franchise?
That is the question, isn't it? That's a lot to unpack.
It is.
But that's kind of the exciting part. Whether you're a diehard fan or just curious, Black Ops 6 is definitely serving up some food for thought alongside all the action.